fights on the card on Saturday. So the main fight, obviously, on the West Coast is around 9 p.m. So you don't really want to start the show at like 11 or something like that. But what we wanted to do, His Excellency doesn't stop adding fights to the card because he just wants them to be as big as possible. So what we thought we'd do is do something different for activation on fight week. Obviously, you've got your media workouts, which are good fun, but just something completely different. So a free show for everybody at the media workouts at Santa Monica Pier, and that was the idea behind that. So that happens Wednesday night live on the Zone, and tomorrow night the Grand Arrivals. Like you'll see something really special tomorrow. I think it'll blow your mind one day.
The free shows unheard of, Eddie. It's pretty cool. The free shows unheard of.
Yeah, but I just think that like
can't complain about it.
Media workouts are great, but it's just that these guys like to do stuff that's different, and I think that's a great little, a great something different for the show.
Something different. Canelo versus Berlanga. Some people are happy with it. Some people aren't. What do you think of Canelo going that route?
I think that when you look at the options available to Canelo, like. Appreciate David Benavidez, but he's moved to 175 and that fight's obviously not happening yet. Terence Crawford, that's not happening at the moment. So Edgar Berlanga's the mandatory challenger. He's an undefeated Puerto Rican fighter that will come to fight. He's a big puncher, and he'll come to win that fight. Like, I think he'll be a great fighter, I really do. And obviously I'm delighted because I promised Edgar the shot. I did expect that we would probably do the fight, not we'd do a deal with PBC, but I'm really happy with that as well because hopefully that's going to open the doors to more stuff together.
Yeah, Edgar was he put out a tweet where he said, forget all my haters, but overall Canelo can do what he wants. He's kind of earned that right. Do you agree with that?
Also, he's got to face his mandatories. No, he had two. William Skull was one. I think, with all due respect to William Skull, like this was the fight to take, So I think Canelo at this stage in his career wants to fight people that come to fight, wants to fight people that walk forward and fight aggressively. And that's what Edgar will do. He's not going to take a backward step. He's going to come to fight. He's full of confidence. And, we love the fight. We thank them for the opportunity. I'm delighted that Edgar gets, obviously, the payday, but also the opportunity to become world champion. That's what we wanted him to get.
Is it the perfect time?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, sooner or later, Canelo Alvarez will start to go in decline. Didn't look like it against Munguia, but I don't see any difference, really, between levels between Munguia and Berlanga, honestly. But that's a fight that we wanted. And I think this will be a similar fight. Hopefully, he can go one better.
Eddie, I have to ask, I know you say obviously you're going a PBC route to make this one happen, and I know you didn't have anything to do with Canelo and Charlo last year. But last year we saw them move it 2 weeks because the UFC had a non-pay-per-view happening on Mexican Independence Weekend. This year, they're calling it the biggest event they've ever done. Do you think that the fight maybe should have been pushed a week or two? I don't
know. I think there's also value in the head-to-head. The noise. You guys are talking about it. The media are talking about it. Vegas is talking about it.
It's happened before.
Yeah. Look, I do think it's two different audiences. There is slight crossover.
Absolutely.
But I guess there's a little bit of politics and ego between MGM and MSG with the Sphere. I don't know. I mean, is the Mexican UFC card a big Mexican card, or is it just a big card? I don't know. There's the fascination of the Sphere. Like, it's not my show, so I don't know. Would I have done it? Who knows?
He said it was going to be a love letter to the Mexican fans, and people are kind of criticizing the card not being
Who's that?
The UFC.
Yeah, look, the UFC do tremendous shows. So, but I feel like the hardcore Mexican, certainly obviously boxing fans, will be at the Canelo Alvarez fight.
I think the Mexican fans would choose boxing over MMA too. I don't think MMA has.
Yeah, I don't know enough about that, but obviously, look, Canelo is a huge name. Like, it doesn't get much bigger than Canelo Alvarez in combat sport. So they obviously fancy their chances.
Yeah.
What advantage points does Berlanga have in the Canelo fight?
Young, fresh, undefeated, unscathed, unmarked, with big power. And it's not just a guy. Like, Berlanga has good amateur pedigree. He's undefeated. He's come through those two fights now that on the big stage headlining. It's a big jump up. It's like the Israil Madrimov fight. We're not like we like our chances in the fights, but we also understand we're up against generational greats. But you've got to roll the dice, and we got the lottery ticket, and we're going to do everything we can to try and win the fight.